Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is November 7th, 2025. That is more than 5.5 years of Torah every single weekday morning, finding each other from everywhere in the world to say good morning. It's good to see all of you. Jillian and Paul, Susie and Penny, Linda and Ashley, Boker Tov. It's good to see all of you. I hope that you and yours are safe and well. It's been a blessing to be able to face this world as part of this community throughout all of these many mornings that we have shared together. Cecile and Debbie, Andrew and Natalia, Sandy and Carolyn, good to see you. It is broadcast 1421. It's good to see you. Jonathan and Rosa, Sandy and Arlene, Boker Tov, Hineni, right back at you. Okay, we're getting ready for Shabbat. Let's sing a bracha. We'll learn some Torah. Hope that you will take a nice breath before we sing the blessing. So let's really do that together. Let's take a breath. It's good to see all of you. Siona, you're sharing that tomorrow would have been your dear friend Jim's 78th birthday. May his memory be for a blessing and sending you comfort. It's good to see all of you friends. Today is broadcast 1421. Thank you, Penny. Today is also a complicated day. Omer Nutra was just buried. He, of blessed memory, was a young man from Plainview, New York, served in Sahel after making Aliyah, held captive until just 2 weeks ago, just a week ago. And when I say held captive, murdered on October 7th, his body held hostage by terrorists. May his family feel a sense of healing, if not closure, a little bit of closure. We are with them. We are with every family that has been affected by this unfolding history of our people, and may the memory of Omer Nutra be for a blessing. There is a part of this parsha that could go unnoticed. We've talked about Sodom and Amorah, Sodom and Gomorrah. We've talked about the binding of Isaac. We've even talked about God's inner process leading up to the destruction of Sodom and Amorah, and what it took for Avraham to stand up courageously to God, demanding justice. This is a very big parsha that includes all of those things and much more. But there's a letter. Oh, thank you, Rosa, for telling us. Today is the anniversary of the loss of Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Zichrono Livracha, a giant in the Jewish world. Thank you for giving us the chance to honor his memory. I'm sorry that I didn't study something from him, especially for today. Um, the the way that the parsha begins, just one letter, signifies something. The first word of the parsha, Vayera, is Vayera. The first letter of the first word is Vav. Vav, the letter, means many things. It often means and. And. If the first word of the parsha is and, you have to know what comes before it. It's called Vav HaChibur, the Vav that connects one thing to another. So God appeared to him by the terebinths of Mamre, by the trees of Mamre, Hebrew, Vayera elav Adonai be'elonei Mamre. But why was he there? What's the end? What does it signify? If you look at the end of last week's Parsha, Lech Lecha, Avram is sitting at the tent of meeting. He just circumcised himself. He was sitting by the open flaps of the tent, healing. And so the rabbis read this verse, and they understand something really important, that if you don't go back a little bit, you don't understand. The Vav is an invitation to look back at our story, and so often to understand where we are and how we got here. Looking backward can be very helpful. Learning history can be very helpful. Something that actually happens less and less in society, certainly in America, an appreciation for history. So if Avram is healing from circumcision, and then you read, and God appeared to him where he was, V'hu yoshev petach ha'ohel kechom hayom. He was sitting at the entrance of the tent as the day grew hot. What was God doing? The rabbis read into this. God was performing the mitzvah of bikur cholim. God was visiting the sick, attending to Avram as he sat healing in his pain and discomfort. It's a big mitzvah to visit someone when they are ill. In our community, when any one of us has suffered an illness or an injury, we've shared, and the way we show up with care, even digitally, is in some ways a fulfillment of that. You matter, and we hope that you feel better. We say refuah shlema, a full healing. And tradition has it that when you visit someone who is ill, your visit removes 1/60th of their illness. It's an interesting math, because if you take it to its logical conclusion, if you have 60 people visit you, that doesn't mean you don't have illness. It means that a small amount of the suffering that might be part of the pain or the illness is alleviated. We make a difference when we visit. God visits Avram when he's healing. And interestingly, the next verse goes in a completely different direction. The Hebrew for verse 2 of chapter 18 is also interesting. Vayisa einav vayar v'hinei shlosha anashim nitzavim alav vayar vayarotz likrata mipetach ha'ohel vayishtachu arza. Looking up, Avram looks up. God is visiting Avram. Avram looks up, and he sees 3 people standing near him, approaching. Perceiving this, he ran from the entrance of the tent to greet them. Let's not be graphic, but let's think about this for a moment. Avraham is recovering from circumcision, and the verse says he jumps up and runs to greet these 3 figures in his pain. But not only is the physical action something we should realize, so too is the fact that God was standing with him, and Avram got up to greet people. Now, as Jerry just wrote, there are many interpretations that these people are angels, but the Hebrew is shlosha anashim. That's what's in the verse. We might believe that they're angels, but Avraham doesn't know that. He sees 3 guests, because after all, if they're angels, if he knew that they were angels, he wouldn't do what he does next, which is wash their feet and feed them. Because angels in biblical theology don't eat. So Avram believes that they're people. That's how we should understand the story. Told from a few feet behind or on a meta level, through the prism of rabbinic interpretation, Avram is suffering the pain and is healing from circumcision. God visits. Avraham, while being visited by God, sees three people, and Avram jumps up and runs to the people to greet them. The way of understanding this, and this is a rabbinic interpretation, it's an ancient rabbinic interpretation with many modern implications, is God is visiting. If I see a person in need, I better go take care of the person. Hachnasat orchim, welcoming guests, is more important, takes precedent over standing in the presence of God. What an interesting concept. Hospitality is such a mitzvah that it takes precedence over standing in the presence of God, according to the Midrash on these two verses. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is it to see that Avram runs to greet these three people, which we might not believe are people, but he does, and basically says, God, I'll talk to you later. People need me. There's beauty in this. A human being in need takes precedence over my spiritual epiphanies. I could be in the middle of davening, but if someone is in need, how can I keep davening? How can I say that I love God if I don't tend to the image of God? And Avram, in his weakened state, doesn't hold back from the fulfillment of loving God by loving people. It's a good lesson for us. We're going into Shabbos. Complicated times. But we have always been the people who taught this lesson, which is that caring for our fellow human being is a way of loving God and has to take precedence even over spiritual highs. What a gift to see the depth and meaning and prioritization that tradition places on treating other people with kindness and welcoming them, especially when they are in need of being welcomed. The implications in society are profound. And we really aren't hearing this lesson very well right now. It would be good to return to its language and to do what is called of us. I want to do something I haven't done in 2 years plus. On Fridays, some of you noticed I wasn't wearing a white shirt. I grabbed a different shirt. I'll wear a white one next Friday if I remember. But on Fridays, I would always pick up my guitar again and sing a song for Shabbos. It's a nice thing to do. I want to point out that there's a ritual that's about to happen in Israel Saturday night. I haven't picked up my dog tag in a while, so I'm going to hold it again. I haven't held it. The last time I picked it up was the morning, it was a broadcast with us, where I took it off. And that was, wow, so incredible, so hard, especially because there are still 6 beloveds in Gaza who deserve proper burial, who we are fighting for. The Hostage and Missing Families Forum in Tel Aviv said that this Saturday night, when there's a gathering, people are going to be taking these dog tags and breaking them in half. You notice, I'll hold it to the camera here and to the camera here. Those lines, people don't really know, the perforation is actually, if you're a soldier in the field, this is for identification. And so if, God forbid, you fall in battle, you break, the person who finds you breaks the dog tag. One half of it has your information for identification. One half of it they carry with them to make sure everyone knows who's still left in the field that needs saving. This does not say the same thing twice, not in the same language. Halev shalanu shavur ba'aza. This is the language that's been on all of these dog tags. Our heart, our broken heart, is held captive in Gaza. And in English it says, bring them home now. I got this necklace October 27th in Israel, 2023. People hadn't yet received these. And I wore it every day for a very long time until the living hostages were returned. And not everyone made the same decision. This was very hard for people to figure out. I honor all these ways of doing it. But to see language from the Hostages and Missing Families Forum that this Saturday night will be a ritual, a shared civic ritual where people will bring their dog tags and break them in half. I wish I could be there to be part of it and do it there. I wonder what I'll do here. I invite us to think about it. There is a gathering at Central Park, as there has been every Sunday since October 7th. But I wanted to honor that. I wanted to honor the moment where the Hostages and Missing Families Forum that has led our hearts and held all of our beloveds whose family members were murdered or stolen, whose bodies were held or whose lives were in the balance this entire time. For them to say that it's time to break this is much more important than anything that has been said to date. So I'm going to place this on the side. I invite you to think about your own process too, because this this healing moment, for all of its complexity, shouldn't be missed. So I wanted to amplify their language to you. And in that spirit, making this intentional pivot to sing. Let's get ready for Shabbos. Nope, that is not okay. I have to tune it a little bit. You pardon me. It'll only be worth it if it doesn't sound bad. All right, close enough for jazz. Okay. All right, everybody, let's send our hearts to the east. Kolon balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia. Od lo avda tikvateinu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, liot am chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim, liot am chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Am Yisrael Chai. Shabbat Shalom, my friends. See you soon.